What's up, man?
All
This
righty.
is this is the pilot, the kickoff, man. This is the official thing. What we've been waiting for how long, but we got to get going right here because this is a Tennessee podcast. Of course, I mean Oklahoma's in here, but might be the most famous fight song in all of college sports. If I do have to say something,
Yeah, I don't think so.
arguably,
Maybe.
what? Arguably one of the most famous fight songs. If you really think,
Hey,
Rocket
and
Top.
as you can see, I have just committed Oklahoma Boomer Sooner. This is the first podcast, man. This is it.
Yeah, this is the
Um,
pilot, man. This is the pilot, number one.
Number one. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, many more to come with great quality and just a little bit about ourselves. Tom, I'll let you go first.
Oh yeah, man. My name is Tom. I'm originally from the South, so SEC football is what we know. It's what I grew up with. It's what I love. At the end of the day, inherently, I'm a Tennessee fan. We are best of the best at the end of the day. Go Rocky Top. Sits in the back, got the goat, Peyton Manning behind me. What about you, Wo?
Yeah, so started out in my life. Well, my name's Cody, by the way. Started out my life as a Notre Dame fan. Picked up on that from my dad. I say around seventh grade, by the time I was like 12, 13. Picked up on Oklahoma. My favorite players were Adrian Peterson, Sam Bradford, and that was just the start of it. So yeah, it's been a rocky ride. It's definitely been a rocky ride, but hopefully it's some good news to come with this 23 season. And speaking of the 23 season, I do want to start off and say Brent Venables, BV,
B.
BV. So just a quick explanation of what I think about this 23 season. I think this is easily a 9-win season. I think that Brent Venables does have a lot to prove this season, and I think he has the right weapons this year. Last year, I couldn't say that, but this year, I think he does have the right weapons with a few key players, as in Dylan Gabriel coming back.
What about
that-
Jackson Arnold there? I mean, you got the freshman out of Denton, Texas, who has a lot of potential right there.
hey,
That's somebody
Jackson,
who's fighting for his position.
I will say this: Jackson Arnold is his time's not now. I will say this. That doesn't mean that he will not get a lot of PT this season. I think he will be mixed in a couple situational football. Probably use this first season as like more for his legs, things of that nature. But I'm excited. I'm excited for Jackson Arnold. I think he personally was the best 23 quarterback um that came out of that class. Um and that's not just because I'm biased. I pay attention to all the recruits, as well as all the skill players and linemen. But yeah, I think it's easily a 9-win season. I do believe that we can go to the playoffs with if it stacks up right. I think our defense has a lot to prove this year, and if they don't this year, then man, I don't know what to say. But yeah, I'm excited for the season. Uh, but I know y'all have Joe Milton,
Oh, Bazooka Joe. We got
Bazooka Joe.
Bazooka Joe, man. He'll throw the ball. That's the only issue, though. He might throw the ball so far that it goes out the end zone, comes back in the other side, and get a 24,000-mile touchdown reception.
So
That's
it sounds like it's an accuracy thing.
100%. It's not the athleticism. It's not the vision. He sees it. He sees the field. He can read the field. It's a
Mhm.
problem getting the ball to the receivers. As we understand, that first year with Tennessee, he lost his starting position to Hendon Hooker after about 3 games, and we saw what happened with that. And Hendon was almost our saving grace. We got so close right there, but Tennessee had a lot of internal issues at the end of the day that kind of stopped us from achieving the goals where we wanted to put ourselves at. But it's okay. It's a new year. New year, not a new system. He's very versed in it. He's not a new quarterback. He's a 6-year veteran. It's a long time to be playing college football, so he has the potential to get us there. He has the weapons for it. He has the coaches for it. Now you just have to step up to the stage, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean,
Hit the rubber.
no, I think a lot of teams do definitely have a lot to prove this season. Um, because I am biased, I will start off with I don't want to say a not important because every game is important, but as far as top 25 matchups, probably one of the least important games is Oklahoma versus Arkansas State.
Yeah, Arkansas
Uh,
State, Saturday, September 2nd. It's not
yeah,
a game to be looked over by any means, but it is a preparation game, so to speak. Like
yes, yes, for sure. I mean,
you get your stuff in order, you execute, you win. It's one of those.
Arkansas State has 7 returning starters coming back on offense, and not to be taken lightly either. They have a really good run game with two-headed monster back there in the running back area. So I'm excited to see how they do because I think Oklahoma's defense has really improved alongside with their D line. So we gotta control the tempo, and that's the whole game. I think their starting running back is Jaquez Cross, which is
for
one of the reasons
for
for
Arkansas.
Arkansas State.
Uh,
Yeah,
him or Lang. Jay Lang is one of their top guys.
yeah, yeah. So
7 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. That's not bad.
yeah, I think he is I think Lane is a co-starter, so it's just whoever they pull out first, but they will definitely both probably have around equal touches and everything. Um, I know that Oklahoma has some. They came out with their depth chart, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But as far as the defensive line, I know that everybody is back on the depth chart starters as far as John Alua, who is a transfer from Hawaii. Then we have a new guy who I think could be our best defense lineman from Vanderbilt and Bothroyd, Rondell Bothroyd. He is a DN. He will be taking that starting spot on the right side. And then we also have, I believe, why am I forgetting their names?
What
Two
position?
more D line. So I got John Alula, we got Isaiah Coe, and we also have
You got
uh
you got senior, yeah, Isaiah Cole, senior right there. For
yes,
it's another D lineman that you got.
yeah, which is from
Grimes,
eh,
Reggie Grimes.
Reggie Grimes. Yeah, so Reggie Grimes actually was wanting to commit to Clemson before BB even took the job at Oklahoma. So um he ended up going to Oklahoma. I can't remember why he went to Oklahoma, but he originally wanted to commit to Clemson because of BV, and just so happened, I think he was going to hit the transfer portal until Brent Venables took that job at Oklahoma as the head coach. But yeah, man, like I said, I'm excited. We're not extremely big as far as like height wise on the D line, but I think we're more quick than anything. Isaiah Cole though, that guy is a freak, standing at 6'2", not too tall, man, but I'm telling you, like,
He stacked almost 315 pounds, man. That's
yeah,
a whole lot of pancakes.
bro,
I'm saying.
yeah, I think,
The thing is, this game has a lot of meaning for me, but a little bit more than any normal person would have, right? Because of the fact who's
Mhm.
coaching for Arkansas State, Butch Jones, brick by brick at Tennessee.
Right,
So
right,
it has a little bit more connotation for y'all just to go out there and just dog walk him at the end of the day.
yeah,
It just the way he did us at the end of his time, he mismanaged that team in so many ways. You got so much talent. Jalen Hurd, for example, didn't want to move him out of that running back position. Alvin Kamara, we had Josh Dobbs. Our coaching was just so out of whack with him that the talent we had is the same talent, I say, on the same level as Hendon Hooker's team this past his 2022 team with Tennessee. With
yeah,
Dewan
yeah,
Jennings, Marquez Callaway, Alvin Kamara, Gray, we had so much talent that was underutilized with Butch Jones. So I would expect Butch Jones to do that same thing. Though he's a product of Nick Saban, and he went down there, he got his little training tips from him, and he beat us, had his little cigar, laughing at Tennessee. Ha, I beat you. Now I'm going to have my cigar as Oklahoma comes out there and just dog walks him, because that's what I see with this team. I don't see it being a very even match at all. If Oklahoma does what Oklahoma is known to do, right? What they should do at the end of the day, this game should be no sweat off their backs, right? You come
Right.
out, you perform. Oklahoma's biggest fixes for the last season was their defense. The offense
Right.
to score, they had to get that defense down. Okay, Arkansas State doesn't have the caliber of defensive linemen that you guys have,
Right.
or offensive linemen, because that's what you really got to worry about. Offensive defensive linemen, they don't have the caliber, and that's what makes the smaller teams different from the bigger teams, right? Right
Yeah.
there.
And it also has something to do with the recruits, just to piggyback off that as well.
So
So
it's one of those things where if y'all come out there and execute, I don't see this being a game of attrition. Like, oh, we gotta just wear him down, keep winning. I don't think it's gonna be one of those where it's a stat pattern, right? You
yeah,
come out
yeah.
there, you throw the ball, catch the ball, score, and it's gonna be one of those instances with this. And it shouldn't be close. It's a 12 p.m. game, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are watching it, so make it exciting, make it worth it. But I just don't think I worry about personally me being able to watch it, because you know who else is playing at 12. Sorry, man. The Volunteers will be playing at 12. So I got to watch
Yes.
this, our home away from home game. We're in Nashville for this upcoming game. It's Virginia. But we'll get to that one next. But
Yeah, no, no, no. Like, I am from Georgia, so it is harder to I think the game may start in Oklahoma at 11, I believe. But I know, from playing football, I know it's kind of hard to just get, you know, turned up and hyped for those type of games. You know what I'm saying? Like, the first thing you do, you wake up, you eat breakfast, and it's like, all right, let's play a football game. Coming from the South, it's most games are played at 3:30 and 6:30 and 7:30. So it's you got time to really lock in and everything. So I I'm glad in a sense, this is a conversation for another day that Oklahoma is going to the SEC just so they get those later games, because I do believe that plays with kids' mind a little bit playing in those earlier games, because you're just waking up. And I know me at 21, 20, 19 years old, I didn't want to play no football game at noon. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, bro, what is this? Like, I'm just waking up.
the energy
Realistically.
different, man. The energy
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
And we saw that firsthand last year
yeah.
with Tennessee and a very talented LSU team. Very talented
Hmm.
LSU team, and one of the hardest stadiums to play in, might add, down in Death Valley, right? We got them at an earlier game, as opposed to we'd have caught them at a 7 o'clock game where it's a lot louder, it's darker, the energy's just different. It's harder to beat somebody in a home stadium when they're in their environment in that moment, right?
Right, right, right.
And those earlier games, you're right. It throws you out of whack. You get up too early, especially if you had a late night. Some people have that anxiety, that stress, right? It's like, oh, I can't really sleep. I didn't go to bed. It's almost 2, and you can't sleep in at all, right?
Yeah,
There's no sleeping in. We got to get up at 6. We got to eat. You got walkthroughs, and then it's at that point it's almost game time.
yeah, yeah. No, for
So
sure, for sure.
that
And I think,
other games, you're right.
yeah, and I think that transition will help. You know, I'm not saying that that's going to be a deal breaker, a game changer by any means, but I think it will definitely help with those kids' mindset getting into those later games. And I am intrigued to see how it plays out, because so many teams will be joining different conferences. And I don't want to get too much into it, but I will as far as like game times, I would like to see where that kind of goes towards. But yeah, Tennessee
Boy,
kicking off Saturday. Um I I don't see this a threat for Tennessee, no. But like I said, with Oklahoma and Arkansas State, I don't think you take any game lightly, because those are what it's college football at the end of the day, and that is what an upset is all about, is somebody taking a day off and the other team. Because at the end of the day, Nick Saban said, and BB said, like, when you're a team of these calibers, you get everyone's best game. You get everyone's best game, and they come in looking to make a point. A lot of kids, especially you're still D1, but everybody wants to go to that school that is a contender type school at the end of the day.
Well, now any other time I would 100% agree. However, we are in a new age of NIL, name, image, likeness. Some of these
Yes.
cats are going to these schools not because of the biggest name, but because of the biggest purse, right? So,
Yeah, yeah,
and
100%.
and with the pseudo draft that people can do now, like the lottery pick them off the transfer portal, that you have the opportunity to make your team a lot better now than you did in the past. Now, I do agree. I like some of the rules that some of these people, like we see, for example, with Deion Sanders. He tried to, though he wants to play the mental health card with this guy. I understand. You do what you got to do to get your guy in. He put it as the guy transferred from one school. He came to Jackson State with him. Deion left Jackson State. The guy transferred to Colorado. And then all of a sudden, NCAA said, whoa, you transferred twice. You have to sit out a year. Unless it is a physical injury or mental health thing, then it allows you to get your immediate eligibility.
Yeah,
Which
right,
I
right.
like that. It stops the team hopping, man. Once you go to a team, you should commit to it. It stops a lot of these teams. There's a smaller team I was watching the other day, and that was one of the things that they said. The coach is like, it helps us out because these kids don't leave some of the bigger schools, LSU, a couple of schools, come to our team, get their statistics up, then just leave us.
Yeah,
It's not.
no, yeah.
It's not fair. At the end of it,
And I mean, and that's very true. And I still think there is a lot more regulations that will come about in the near future on NIL. Um, but yeah, I'm really excited to see, you know, Joe Milton because his potential is, like I told you the other day, it's a lot of quarterbacks. It is a lot. It's a lot of quarterbacks and this cycle. And I believe Joe Milton can definitely be one of those, especially a lot of times college don't necessarily transition to NFL, but as far as him just already looking like an NFL type quarterback with the size, the arm, accuracy can be coached at the end of the day, and but arm strength, it can be tweaked.
yeah, but if you have it, you have it. I mean, look
If
at
if you
Anthony
have it, you
Richardson.
have it.
Look at Anthony Richardson. He's built the same. Like you have that strength. Your accuracy was lacking, but look at him now. He's with the Colts
Right,
doing a thing. He has a starting spot at the Colts because we can get your accuracy down. It's hard to teach that athleticism. It's hard to teach that instinct. You got to have that. But if accuracy is your only issue, that's not a thing. That's fine. We can get
yeah,
your accuracy down. You're in the NFL. You're at that high caliber. You're getting ready for the draft this following year. We can get that down, and that's what we see with a lot of those players. They have the size. They have the build for it, the Cam Newton type build. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're seeing with the Anthony Richardsons, the Joe Miltons. You're seeing that out of them. Even Arkansas's quarterback. They all have that build, that framework to be great. It's just a matter
but
of are they gonna can you perform? Can we get you where
right.
we want you to be?
I will say though, with this what is it, 24, I guess, this 24 class being so deep at QB, maybe they take the kids with the total package instead of the one-sided. And I mean, it's only, human nature to get the best of what you can with your draft pick, so maybe they take the accuracy, the good arm, the reads, the proper reads and everything like that instead of a guy that's one-sided,
And that's I mean that's very true, but it is very very hard to pass up on somebody who's 6'5", 235 pounds. That is
that's
that is
very true.
that is a hard pass, and he's not slow by any means. He's strong, he's quick, he has the action, and we've seen it at Michigan. He wasn't a bad player there, and we've seen it at Tennessee. He's not a bad player there. He just needed the fine tuning, and he's
Right.
had that time. He's now, and that's the thing. Everybody's going to come in, and this is going to be the biggest determining factor. They want to say, oh, Tennessee, Josh Heupel, it's a system thing. It's a system thing. You can plug and play anybody into that system. In fact, it shows the opposite with Joe Milton and Hendon Hooker, right?
Right.
Joe Milton was in that system for 3 games and he wasn't successful. The players had
Yeah.
to open, he just wasn't successful. Hendon Hooker came in and you've seen his success.
Right.
So it's not necessarily any quarterback can do it. You still got to be accurate. You still got to be fast, and that's the thing about Tennessee's offense. It's not a matter of just you go fast. But everybody's moving fast, and watch it when they play. If you get a chance to really sit down and watch the game, even the ball boys on the side are flying up the sideline right there, getting that ball to them to the next. The linemen are doing it, and the linemen usually the slowest people. They're right there ready to ball on the ball, ready to go. So
Right.
that's the thing about us. We have the potential, and we saw it last year. It's
Yeah.
now, can you execute in all phases of the game?
Right.
That's what it
And
was.
speaking of everybody has a lot to prove, I think one of those teams is definitely the Florida Gators versus Utah coming up. Just got word as today. What is today's date? Wednesday, August 30th. That Utah's quarterback will not be starting in the football game. Cam Rising
Some
instead.
ACL issues coming to rise, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and they will have Bryson Barnes taking the snap to start off, and also I forget his name, so I apologize. The tight end, the starting tight end for Utah will not be playing as well.
Oof.
So those are definitely two huge factors because as we know that Utah definitely likes to use the tight end in their game, in their offense a lot, and you know we'll see what the next guy up has to offer. And Florida's not a team to be taken lightly. They had a few rough years, but at the end of the day, it is Florida. They do have the talent. It's just how do you execute this year? How do you execute? And this is the game to start off big and put your signature down for the rest of the season and make a stamp.
And we saw Thomas Yasmin, their tight end, and he's a dog out there. He made a big play last year to get them that TD grab to draw them even in a couple games where he's just like he's a difference maker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cam
Mm-hmm.
Rising, difference maker. That
Right.
you game plan around quarterbacks like that. Like, hey, he is a mobile quarterback. So Florida was game planning around that. Hey, we gotta watch a mobile quarterback. But now you just took one of your deadliest weapons out of the game. That dang near won you the game last year, almost against Florida. Florida's looking
Oh,
for
yeah.
two-peat right here, to back to back. They're looking for that, and if they can get it, we'll see. Florida has their own issues they're dealing with now down there. Having to find the right quarterback to come in and take over. After, I mean, it's really been back to back for Florida, losing people. I mean, you had Anthony Richardson. I mean, their best quarterback before that, we know where he's at now. He's down at the Buccaneers. So the thing is, losing players like Kyle and Anthony, those are really good quarterbacks. Can you come in and fill those shoes? Can you come in and be that difference maker that Florida really needs? They don't necessarily need a running quarterback. We saw what they had last year with a running quarterback. He's a playmaker. Okay, cool. They don't need that. They need somebody who's going to sit in the pocket, make the passes. You can be
Yeah.
middle of the road, make your passes, make your reads. And I think Graham Mertz is a seasoned quarterback that can make it shake for him. I think that they're going to have a good opportunity with him. You got a good running back in Trevor Etienne, Travis's little brother. They have the potential. Now, can they get it done? I don't know. I mean,
And I mean, I will be honest, I did take out my parlay of Utah because a lot of factors play in this game. And did you know that this is Florida's first non-conference season opener road game? I know that's a tongue twister, since 1991. So this will be their first game on the road as a season opener non-conference game since 91. And I don't know how much that plays into the start of your season, to the mental game of your players and your coaches, your staff. But at the same time, man, it's, it's like I don't see I don't see Utah winning this. Actually, I will be honest, I did have them winning it in a close game, and now without Cam Rising, that guy was. But I'll be honest, I didn't know anything about him before last year. He was balling, and uh, especially against USC. All eyes was on USC last year, and he had two great games against USC, if I ain't mistaken. So, and tough. I believe I think he got his helmet knocked off in that second game against USC. I think he took a nasty hit last year, but and got back up and went to the next place. So I am intrigued to see his career play out this year. But it just sucks to see like him not being at the season opener. I don't think Utah pulls this off.
I don't either. I mean, like I said again, I think a big factor, well, it might not even be a big factor, but a factor of this game, and you guys are in our thoughts and prayers down there in Florida, is a lot of these Gator players are from Florida. Their families are from Florida, and
Right.
them having that in the back of their mind, though the storm has passed and it's through Georgia, heading through the Carolinas now, any damage that might have caused, flood and stuff. So a lot of people are worried about their family back home. Not luckily, good planning on the coach to go ahead and get them a flight out earlier, go to Texas, wait it out in Texas, get a good night's rest in Texas tonight, and then they're going to proceed up to Utah. So it gives them a little bit of a break, a little bit of time to get their heads together. You're not going straight there thinking about your family and everything that's left behind. So that was a good strategic move on the coach for moving them ahead of time and then allowing them to get the thoughts and prayers back to their families to make sure they're doing all right. But like I said, with Graham Mertz, that is a quality transfer. Like we said, the transfer portal. Now it's a mini draft. So you can take him from wherever. You're a senior. No, I think he's a junior, so he has a little bit more eligibility left. But you got you play with other games. He has some pretty good wins. We saw against. I know Maryland is one of the teams. This is a local team here. I kind of follow them every now and then. He has some solid wins. 2,100 yards last year, 19 touchdowns, 10 INTs. That's a lot of INTs. But 2.5 QBR, which is middle of the road. It's what they need. It's real middle of the road, right? You're not a bad quarterback. You're a solid quarterback. You're decent. You're good. If Billy Napier wants to get the job done, this is your opportunity. You don't have DJ Lagway yet, so don't start looking too far ahead. He's not throwing you 8 touchdowns this Saturday.
So you're gonna have to hold on that.
Hold on.
I'll tell you another game that I'm intrigued to see alongside of the Oklahoma game, of course, is the LSU Florida State game. Man.
That's
LSU.
It's gonna be a good one, man.
I told you I have LSU coming out, of the SEC West side, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like I think, Brian Kelly is a great coach. He did great things at Notre Dame, but LSU, Florida State, I think that would be a staple game too. I think, I think Florida State has had a lot of hype around them ending the season last year, coming into this year season. And I'm honestly very excited to see how they start off the season. I think Florida State has a good team. But my picks for this game would probably go with LSU. That's not to knock Florida State, but I do believe that the LSU takes this game in a close one. I do think it'll be close.
Should have taken it last year. It's 24-23. The coach decided to go for it on 4th down instead of riding into overtime with a kick. He decided to go for 2, missed to go for 2, so that would have put them 25-24 instead of kicking it and then going into overtime. Which, I mean, it's a dangerous game. You win some, lose some. But at that time,
lose some.
Hey, go big or go home. So, but with that, he still had a very successful season. I mean, it was 4 wins straight after that. Then you had the misfortune of running into my Volunteers. Sorry, casualty of war. It happens. 40-13. That's a big loss. But then he went on a nice little sweep there. Florida, Ole Miss, Bama.
Arkansas. Yeah.
Those are that's a pretty decent loadout right there.
I remember that game. LSU got a lot of criticism for that. They didn't think Brian Kelly was ready for SEC, and he ended up getting his head around and coming back and ending the season pretty strong there. But beating Alabama as well. And so, you asked me the other day, and not to jump around, but you did ask me about Oklahoma. BV, is he on the chopping block this year? And I say yes and no, and I say it's more no than yes. I think yes is coming from a fan standpoint. I think no because Nick Saban went 7-5 his first season. I think Kirby Smart went 5-7 his first season, or 75. Could be mixing those up, so don't quote me. But they both had very rough starts, very similar starts to Oklahoma's first year last year with BB. And I do think he bounces back this year. I think it's very crucial. I don't say very. I think it is crucial for him to have a winning season this year because I don't think you can. I don't think you can go 6-7 this year and not be considered for it to be your last year.
And I think it was 8-5 at his first season, 16 with Georgia.
Okay, yeah. So which in today's era, you don't want to see that.
No,
You know what I mean?
not
That's out of the
yeah. Now
playoff.
out of the option, you're not an option anymore. You're not even getting New Year's Six at that point in time.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, BV. The funny thing about that is I believe that BV has a bounce back season,
Mhm.
but I think his cycle as a head coach also starts again next year.
Yeah,
It starts all over
you
again
coming
next
into
year.
an entirely new conference.
Yeah,
So
so I think he could go 1 for 2 to start off his first 3 years and still be the guy his fourth year. And Oklahoma fans, we've we've had the top, you know, I think we had the most 10-win seasons out of Power Five teams since the year 2000. So Oklahoma fans don't want to see another losing under 500 season. No, like it was last year was my first time not seeing Oklahoma over 500. So, and it was not fun. Yeah, I did not like the season. I was not happy on Saturdays, and I was not happy through the week. So,
I was sneaking my text in, kind of poking the bear a little bit.
yeah. So I just I believe his cycle starts over again next year, which is he's coming in a weird situation, like really weird, and it's not like he's going from the Big 12 to the Pac 12, like Lincoln Riley. You're going from the Big 12 to the SEC. So you come in, you're like, oh, I got the hang of this. Boom. Now your career as a head coach starts over one more time. And I'm intrigued to see what happens, but only time will tell at the end of the day.
Well, so let's not to, like you said, jump around, but I do have a little bit of a icebreaker conversation starter, and that gets you. Who would be your team to watch this year? Who a coach or team to watch this year? And I'll give you a second to think about because I put you on the spot with it. Mine, it's going to be
I already know.
the Auburn Tigers. Freeze down there. Auburn has made some huge moves, man. They've got some huge recruits coming up too. Hugh Freeze really has a chance to make an impact statement this year. If you're going to do something, now's the time to go out there and do it. I mean, the West is kind of weakened right now. You got LSU taking blows at Alabama. You got A&M, who's supposed to be rock stars with their number one class, and we've seen how that went. Cough, cough. But the West is weakened. This is your time to bring Auburn back. If you came to the SEC to do something, now's the time. You don't have some superstar quarterback like a lot of these other guys do, but you have the opportunity.
Yeah.
Coming in, a lot of people are kind of writing you off, right? A lot of people see Auburn nowadays, not like in the past. See Auburn nowadays, kind of like, oh, okay. Yeah, it used to be. The Iron Bowl used to mean something, right? It still does to an extent, but it used to be like, hey, that's the biggest rivalry out there. Now it's like,
I mean,
it's
alongside from Ohio State and Michigan, but yeah.
Yeah. So, and I mean, it's one of the longest running games aside from Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. It's one of the longest running games in the nation.
Yeah.
So, they have the potential, man. They start off this season like most of the SEC is going to start off their season, right? Massachusetts, Cal, Samford. I mean,
You know how y'all like to do.
yeah, that's your chance to season your guys up, and then you go A&M. You go. He goes from there, from Cupcake to the Gauntlet. A&M, Georgia, LSU, Mississippi. So you got a little bit of a ringer there. So if you're gonna get your guys ready, now's the time. Now's
Yeah.
the time to do it. You got a great. I mean, don't look ahead. I know it gets hard for some people want to look ahead. Like we got all these 5 stars coming. It's gonna be different. Don't look too far ahead. this is your time, and I think they're going to be somewhat a team to watch this year. It's just, hey, let's see what Hugh Freeze does. I mean, he was at Liberty before this, if I'm not mistaken. They're one of those teams, and because we wanted him, when we got rid of Butch Jones, we looked at Freeze, we looked at a few other people, and he's he's not interested. He wants to stay down there. Okay, cool, whatever. That's fine. We went the path we had to go through. With the last coach, who shall not be mentioned because he's no longer allowed to coach in college anyway. So we're not going to mention him and let him go his wayside, be a high school PE.
Cold-hearted.
High school PE, not coach, teacher. Shout out to my teachers. But yeah, that'll be one to watch. I like old Auburn down there. One, because we don't play them, so it's not hard to root for somebody you ain't got to play for. Play against. So I want to see something shake. And you play Alabama. If you play Alabama, Georgia, I'm rooting for you every single time.
Right.
Every single time I'm root for you.
No, I mean, I guess to answer your question, my top three, and I'll go in order actually. Starting at 3 is LSU with Brian Kelly. Second year, seeing what he's going to do over there, Death Valley. 2 is actually, and I hate to say, but Texas. Steve Sarkisian, you got your starting quarterback back in Quinn Evers. You have really great recruiting class last year in this 23 cycle. Really great recruiting class. I'm excited to see what they do and see how many of those true freshmen start.
I mean, they're looking at starting Baxter, the true freshman running back. They think he's the next Bijan Robertson.
Oh, I mean, yeah, they did. Baxter, I think was he I think he was the number 1 running back in that class.
No, they think they got them another Bijan, and that's a hard replacement right there.
No, I've seen this kid's highlights, and he's the real deal. But and then my number 1 will have to be Colorado and Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders.
Deion.
He has did a complete overhaul, unlike anything we've seen. He took the transfer portal and took it to the max. Who's swag?
Yeah.
If I ain't swag.
Yeah. He ain't hard to find.
Who's pack? If I ain't pack. Oh, I ain't pack no more? Okay. Who's Big 10? I ain't Big 10. So,
Big 12. Big 12. Big 12.
Big 12. I ain't Big 12.
So
I'm saying he definitely, and I shout out to him. I'm not hating by any means. He know what he had to. He let those guys know, and he wasn't sneaky about it. And that's what I think I respect even more. He came in and he told him off rip, I'm bringing Louis luggage with me. A lot of y'all be packing.
Yeah, and BB kind of threw some shots at him too, which was a little unexpected. He was like, I didn't take these kids and run them out. I want to coach them. If you want to be here, if this is just school, I want to coach you. And he just took his first year and kind of got table scraps and did what he could. And I'm not saying anyone's better than the other, but I will say that this is my first chance to kind of see Shedeur Sanders.
Really? You didn't watch him I watched him at Jackson State. I enjoyed
and when I say
go ahead.
When I say first chance, I'm sorry. When I say first chance, I mean Power 5 first chance.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense. I mean,
yes.
We've had this discussion back and forth how I feel about the HBCU MEAC SWAC level.
Don't take nothing from them. Yeah. Don't take nothing from them.
But there's a difference. And the difference doesn't come in the skill position. It's not your quarterbacks. It's not your running backs. It's not your DBs, receivers. That's not where the difference comes when you come up to the Power 5. The difference comes in the trenches. Those men in the trenches, there's a difference you see in those guys. Those 5 stars versus the 2, 3 stars, couple 4 stars, occasional 5 stars you see, they're not the same. They're built different. But what he does have now is that Power 5 offense and his mentality.
Yeah.
You got your son down there rocking. What are you going to do with it? I mean, you have some studs he brought in there. He got some great transfers. And he had a plan. He stuck to the plan and he executed it to a T.
Yeah. And it's and I said this last year, and I said it not only because it was Oklahoma, but I said first year is tough. First year head coach is tough. And I will say that I'm giving Deion the same slouch that I gave BV, that I've given every first year coach. It is tough.
Josh Heupel, I knew what he had the potential of at UCF, but it's the same thing. It ain't the same. You come in here with your gimmicks or your stuff. It's different, baby. When you get to
Yeah,
that next level, it's different.
man. What and I like to see how they play. Not only this first game against, is it the first game against TCU?
Yes,
So
the
yeah, the
opener
first game.
is against TCU. I
Yeah,
honestly, I don't have them winning it. I don't. And I'm not gonna lie and say yeah, I don't. Only because it's a learning curve, and this curve is steep. Now you coming
it
from
is.
MEAC SWAC, you're coming up right now. Your guys are getting new to your system. These guys have got to get used to you as a coach. You've had the summer. Now the advantage they will have is the fact that TCU, no, actually, no, they won't because TCU, it's at TCU, so they're not gonna have altitude advantage. I was hoping, I lived out there. I was hoping you get the altitude advantage of them
Right.
so getting tired, and you've been planning it all summer. You've acclimated to it at this point in time, but no, they're going to Texas in the Texas heat. You're not in the Colorado sun anymore. It's different.
Yep.
So going down there, I don't have them winning it. I have it being competitive. It's not a blowout. TCU lost Max Duggar, where their Heisman candidate quarterback. So TCU is not going to be the same TCU. They also lost that star receiver they had. So
Uh, Quentin, or I
Quentin,
think it was like something. His last name is Quentin.
yeah, they
We apologize for our lack of knowledge on these
lack
names,
of
but we'll
knowledge
get it
on
right.
TCU. I'm not. I'm from the SEC. I know who he is. I watched him play. He's just it's not one of the guys that are immediately on my mind. But no, um, they have the talent. They still have some good replacements, but it's not the same. It's not going to be the same TCU we saw last year. It's not the Cinderella story we saw. TCU comes in and out, so you can't quite call them Cinderella story. But they're one of the teams the first time like showing up to the party and ready to eat dinner. And now you're not. You're going to be the kiddie table this year. But this is going to be Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, kind of to piggyback off the Colorado statement is, first year Deion Sanders. It could be his last year with his son, right? I think this is Shador's third year. I know his other son came in as well. He took a little minute to come across over to Colorado. He was waiting it out a little bit. I don't know what was up with that. Probably reading into it too much.
Yeah, I think just reading too much. He
Uh,
finished off the season, they ended up losing that game in the championship, if I'm not mistaken. So that might have been what took a little bit longer to come over. And he didn't want to seem like I'm just going because my dad's going. He wanted to make it seem like it is his choice, which it is. It's his choice to come up to the next level.
but they also have 2022 number one recruit.
They do. They do have Mr. Travis Hunter out there, and
You already know, big dog, and I think he will also play both sides of the ball for Colorado as well. I mean, you hate to um increase your possibility on getting a player hurt, but when you have someone that talented, you kind of gotta take what you can. Like you gotta, it's almost like you gotta do what you can to win ball games in a sense, you know. And it might sound crucial to some player or some people out there, but it's one of those things where we have to have our best people on the field. Like Travis Hunter is a dog. I think personally, I think he's one. Um, Number one is corner first, receiver second. But personally, I think he's better receiver than corner. Not taking away anything away from his corner skills, his coverage skills, or anything like that. Because I've seen him play like he's like that.
he could be our
He is,
first true two-way college player, like true two-way, like seeing him
yeah,
plays on both sides of the ball. He has potential for it. He
yeah.
does.
How tall is he?
Travis Hunter is 6'1", 185. He's a little slim for the next level of ball. Like you're gonna get ragdoll a couple times. But he, like I said, they could put the weight on him. That's not an issue putting weight on people, right? That's the easy part, putting a couple pounds on him. So
Yeah.
him being 6'1" gives him a good frame for it. And him being a cornerback, I think if he can get up to like 195, that is like the perfect size for him as a wide receiver and a cornerback for his height.
Right. So, I guess to kind of close this out, do you want to go through these matchups Saturday and give me your win loss, and I'll just repeat after you.
Yeah, let's do it. Let me.
All right. So of course we start out with Notre Dame and USC catching their win. last weekend. But now I got Florida versus Utah
Okay.
Thursday.
Florida versus Utah. I'm gonna have Florida actually pulling this out. First, I had Utah right there, but I think Florida has what it takes with Utah losing their quarterback and a tight end. Those are two crucial pieces of your offense. Not having them out there, that's going to make a big difference with a decent SEC team coming into town. So I have Florida
Yeah,
winning that one.
I also have Florida winning that one. Due to Cam Rising not being available for this first game. So next I have Arkansas State versus Oklahoma.
Arkansas State, Oklahoma. I have Oklahoma taking that one. Arkansas State just doesn't have what it takes to push it over the edge. Now, could it be Oklahoma go revert back to last year and have a few slip ups at the very beginning to get back on the road? Yeah, it's possible. But I think if they come in and execute, that should be a good game, easy game,
Yeah,
so to speak.
yeah. I think they play their cards right. They play how they should play. Easy, easy 20-point game. And I don't want to say easy, but I think it should be a 20-point game to kind of set the standard on your season. Um, Next I have East Carolina versus Michigan.
East Carolina versus Michigan. Michigan takes that one with ease. They got the running back. He's healthy, and they're going to proceed to run it down their throat. Their quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, he's been to the highest level of the game now at reaching the playoffs. That's going to be easy.
Yeah, and Michigan kind of reminds me, their offense kind of reminds me of a 2010, 2011 Alabama. That pro style offense.
Yeah.
Like they kind of run that a little bit, you know what I mean? They of course, they go a little spread, but they're they have a lot of pro style. Michigan's big. Michigan reminds me of like, and I don't want nobody to take this the wrong way, but Michigan reminds me of big country boys, like just caveman, just down in the
Them
trenches.
cornbread fed type boys.
We getting after it, you know what I'm saying? Like Michigan is a special program.
Yeah.
So next we have Virginia versus Tennessee.
You know what's up. It's going to be a good one. Tennessee, it depends on how we start. We are traditionally known to start the season a little slow sometimes. And like we saw with Pitt last year, went to overtime to barely squeak by with the W. So that's something we got to watch out for. But in this, I don't think we'll be watching out for that. I think we're going to start off where we left off with Joe Milton. He came in, stepped in against that Clemson game and rocked it in the absence of Hendon Hooker. I think with us losing a couple people to the draft, we have some great replacements coming up. With Squirrel White, especially in the replacement of Jalen Hyatt, which is a huge loss, but Squirrel White's just as fast as him. So Joe Milton, Squirrel White, Sampson, I think it's a breeze for us right there. I think we put up 35, 40 points against them. Our biggest factor would be what is our defense going to do? So Tennessee wins that one.
Tennessee, yeah. Do you have Tennessee 28-point favorites?
Yes, I think it'll be closer to about a 42-14 type game.
Okay. All right. Next we have Colorado TCU.
TCU takes it again, like we said before. This Deion's first year. I don't think he's quite there yet. He's still building at this point in time. He's not quite there. But it'll be a good one. I think it'll be a lot closer than what people think. But I think TCU still takes it. But it'll be closer than what we think.
So you don't have Colorado losing by 20 because they are a 20-point favorite to win. TCU is a 20-point.
I don't think it's going to be 20 points. It might be 17. I think it's going to be a good game.
I think it might be like 13 points, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like.
You heard it here first.
We're telling y'all, it's going to be a lot closer to what you think. I don't think with Max Duggar gone, think about TCU won a lot of the games coming back, right? They had to grind to come back, and Duggar was out there doing his thing to get to that level. You don't have him anymore this year. So I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. Heck, I dare say it could be a slip-up if they're not careful. But
it could. I think so too.
They're not careful.
I agree with you
because they've never coached against Deion. Nobody knows his bring. You said what he had at Jackson State, but that was just raw talent against not as raw talent. You know what I'm saying? So I have TCU win it in a close one, but it could be a slip up.
Could be. All right. Next, we have Utah State versus
The
Iowa.
Utes don't have a chance in this one. Sorry, I was real cornbread fed boys. They don't have a chance. I was from
Hey,
run slap.
they are and they are a remix of Michigan almost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah. Okay. Next, we have Ole Miss versus Mercer.
Mercer, sorry guys. I mean, I'm glad you're down there. You're a bunch of smart kids at your school. But Ole Miss is finna do what Ole Miss does on that one. Go for it on every fourth
Yeah.
down, like he's known to do. Old Lane. But Ole Miss makes that one easy.
Hey, and that boy Lane doesn't care, bro. Lane, bro. I love that guy, dog. Like he does not care. Like I love him as a coach. I'll say that. Like I like how he's just I'm against the grain type of person.
Mm-hmm.
Uh he is very against the grain. We're gonna do it how I want it to be done. That's exactly it. All right. Next we have Portland State versus Oregon. I don't
Bo Nix takes that one with these. I don't.
yeah, I think that's
That's
I think that's
That's a cleanup game. Another get your stuff together, get your plays together. They're not going to show everything. They're not going to come out this game and run their main formations, their main routes and stuff. They're going to come out and do basic route tree. 1, 2, 3, 4. We run it that way. So it's another cleanup game. Bo Nix starts to pad his stats and tries to make a Heisman run this year with it.
next we have Ohio State versus Indiana.
Ohio State, it's another easy one. Indiana's not a quality team anymore. They have flashes of they're going to be decent, but I don't see them doing much against number 3 Ohio State. Sorry.
Yeah. It was a little closer last year. Last year I feel like it was especially like the beginning of the game was a little closer, but yeah, I also have Ohio State. Next we have Washington versus Boise State.
Boise State hadn't been good since '08 when they had that miracle win in the Sugar Bowl. So Washington takes it. It's another one. Washington
Against
takes
my
it.
Sooners.
Yeah, I think Washington's going to. I think Washington's going to make another play for the Pac-12 to try their best to get it again, especially with the Pac-12 that's been there last year. A lot of people got a lot of statements to make, and I don't think they want USC, just like Oregon. I don't think they want USC to be the last Pac-12 champion. So that's going to be a pretty good blowout game right there.
I also have Washington winning, but I think it can potentially be a game. I do. I don't know too much about Boise State and this Washington game as a roster standpoint, but I know that Boise State they're iffy. Like they're a weird team you got to watch out for. So I believe that Washington wins this game, but it could also be a game. Right now they have Washington as a 14-point favorite, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. I mean, you don't hear a lot of news coming out of the Mountain West nowadays. It's just not.
Unless you're a fan of them.
Yeah, you just don't hear much of. I mean, it's Idaho,
Right.
so it's not talking down on them. But I mean, they got some solid players who might make some mistake. They got a good season running back down there who's coming back senior year. I mean, you got to come back your senior year at a school like Boise because you got to get your stats up, man. But I mean, it's one of those you never know. You never know. That's the thing. You never
College
know.
football.
It's college football. So, but I don't have them winning this one. That's what I do know. Sorry.
So I got Texas and Rice.
Texas is on track to win a conference championship this year. They are not the clear favorite, but they are the favorites. And I think Rice isn't going to be much. I think this is for them to get their P's and Q's together to start on the track to possibly win another conference championship. Unless BV decides he just wants to put his foot down the throat and step on the gas and get ready to go to the SEC. So Texas, they are a solid team, and I don't think this is going to be a stump game for me. I think it might, in fact, see old Arch come in a little bit this game because it's going to be that big of a gap between the two.
Texas, really all I got to say, clear favorite. Next I got Tennessee State versus Notre Dame.
TSU, HBCU right there, man. Don't see him doing too much against Notre Dame. Notre Dame had a great win in Ireland against Navy. Go Navy beat Army. I think it'll be the same thing this week. They have some solid dudes out there. They got number 4 curly hair. He is out there like a young Troy Polamalu, flying around, making
Number eight.
Yeah,
Number
number
eight.
8,
Yeah.
his motor, man. That guy is around the ball at all times. They got a running back who's just good and a quarterback transfer who was going to make some shake. As a matter of fact, I think I have Notre Dame being one of the teams to watch out for this year. We always say, "Oh, watch out for Notre Dame." Then they get there at the end, and then it's like, "Why are y'all even here?" It's like, why'd you show up to the party, man? You bought crock pot barbecue. What are you
Yeah.
doing here? That's what I was saying. But Sam Hartman, I think they found their golden egg for the year. All right, so that's going to be another team to watch. But Notre Dame takes this one with ease.
Yeah, I like Sam Hartman in this game. Definitely got Notre Dame beating TSU. My fault. Next we got Buffalo and Wisconsin.
Wisconsin takes it. Wisconsin's a solid team. I mean, Wisconsin's very
I
they're very
don't think that's the game.
consistent with how good they are. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy going on. I think it's a clear winner in this type of game right here. They
And
run the ball. They're a big run the ball down your throat type team. So
yeah, I like Iowa. So yeah. And just to speed through this one, we got UT Martin versus Georgia.
yeah,
Georgia, clear favorite. I think I can speak for both of us on that one.
Mhm.
Next we have Nevada versus USC.
But I'll give a quick little plug right there. Shout out to UT, all the UT's system, the way their schools work. UT have UTC, UT Martin, UTK, UT Southern. They're all in the UT system. The way it works with their teams, that when one gets some money, they kind of help all each other out. So little plug in, shout out to UT Martin, just because go Vols, they're part of the UT schooling system.
Did not know that. Nice. But Nevada versus USC. I think I could probably speak on that one as well. USC takes that one. I am intrigued to see what their defense does this week, though.
Mhm.
How they. Not to say that they didn't play by last week, but just to see how they step towards the plate.
Mhm.
And next we got SC Missouri versus Kansas State.
I mean, we can blow by it because I know you like your boy out there, but last week I was not that impressed. I wasn't. I mean, they came out 56-28.
USC.
Yeah, USC. They came out
Yeah.
56-28, which is what they should have done. But going into halftime and it was that close of a game.
Yeah.
Like y'all were giving them a chance. Come on, Caleb Williams. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, 14-21 at halftime is definitely
That
different. Definitely not. It's definitely not something you want to see. As much as people want to kind of downplay it, it's a season opener. That it is. As a fan of USC, if I was a fan of USC, or if I was a fan of any team in the top 10, top 15, that's potentially fighting for a playoff spot, I wouldn't want to see my team down or up only 7 points at halftime,
especially against
to a gimme school
ranked team like that. Like you are a gimme school.
Like we're paying you to play.
Yeah, we're helping you.
And y'all. Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to speak too much of it because it's gone. But yeah, nah.
At the end of the day, they won 56-28. Everybody's gonna look back on the score and see that nobody's gonna care at the end of the day how close it was. But it's 56-28 final score. They win this next one the same fashion against the bottom.
All right. Next here I got SC Missouri and Kansas State. Definitely have Kansas State winning that.
KSU takes another one. KSU finished off a really good season last year. Had a great run right there at the end. Sorry, y'all had to lose that way to Alabama. But
they gave them a fight though. But yeah.
KSU takes it.
Next, I got Texas A&M. That's another team I forgot about. Texas A&M and New Mexico. I definitely have A&M winning this game, but I am interested to see how they kind of just play their season out. Their 22 recruiting class was insane. The best recruiting class since I think it's been since they started doing the index, the power index. I am intrigued to see what this year shapes out to be. I honestly feel like they got to make something shake. You don't bring in the best recruiting class and not fight for a playoff spot. I truly believe that.
Yeah. I mean, the Lobos is a solid little team down there in their conference. They're not a horrible team, but you have no chance. I'm sorry. You you don't have a chance right here.
And A&M took,
A&M.
and I will say this too, real quick. A&M took a couple 5 stars from us, and I don't really appreciate that, bro. Don't really appreciate it. And y'all know who y'all
I
is.
remember last year we had a guy out of Tennessee decide to go A&M. But yo, what? You left in-state to go to Texas A&M for that money and just to lose? Just to lose?
What they do? What Johnny M do?
Yeah, that's what it's all about. But yes, again, another one. Texas A&M takes this one in a very handily fashion. It's not going to be like, oh, you're 14-21 at halftime. They're going to get there, going to get the job done, and move on, get ready for Miami.
And coming in at number 4, we have Alabama versus MTSU. Alabama takes this. Sorry to speak out of turn, but I think we both can agree on Alabama taking this. Just excited to see Alabama and see what they got to bring to the table this year.
I hope they lose, though. I hope they lose. They're not going to. But me being from Tennessee, Battle of Moccasin Bend, Tennessee, Alabama, I do not like Alabama. They are a solid team. They're a great team with a legendary coach, and I can't knock their talent in any way, shape, or form. But I do not like Alabama Crimson Tide. I'm sorry. The Gumps, that's my bane right there. That's my blood. They're going to win against Middle Tennessee. It's Middle Tennessee. It's not Louisiana Monroe. Maybe it is, but it's not. They'll sweep this team. As Nick said, we're only looking at the team we're playing. No, you're not. You're going to go ahead and beat them. Get ready for Texas because you don't want to slip up to Texas next. So they win this very handily fashion.
Yeah. So next we have West Virginia, Penn State.
West Virginia, Mountain Mama, Penn State.
I got. Yeah. And now, I also agree. We got North Carolina, South Carolina.
Whew, now this is a tough one.
This is a game that I'm interested to see as well.
I will be watching Spencer Rattler, Drake May.
Battle this one out for the Carolina.
Will Spencer finish off his season? I mean, start off the season the way he finished off his season. Like, will he do it? This is a tough one. Those are two quality teams. I mean, it's the battle of SEC, ACC. We've seen it Tennessee, Virginia. We'll see it LSU, FSU, and we'll see it South Carolina, North Carolina. SEC historically tries to win this game. For the most part, we are pretty good about beating the ACC when it comes time, as we saw Tennessee versus Clemson. But North Carolina is a solid team, man.
Yeah, I'm excited to see.
Not a pushover. And South Carolina didn't start off the best last year. So it's like, are we going to get a replay of that last season, like the end of the last season for South Carolina, or are they going to start off like they did last year? I don't know.
So
it's tough. Drake May. So if I had to give my honest opinion, because that's what we're talking about right now, I think I don't know. It's a home game for them. Are they going to be Charlotte? Or is it like one of those home away from home type games? You know where they're playing at?
It says Bank of America. They are playing in Charlotte.
So playing in Charlotte.
Yeah.
So it's like an away game kind of type deal.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it is. It's not your stadium.
All right, I give it to South Carolina. It's a hard one. I don't want to give it to them. I don't know, because I don't know what they got. I mean, everybody's ready for Beamer ball. They're excited about it. He's a very flashy, high energy coach. You just don't know what Shane Beamer's going to bring this year, because it's going to be the same as last year. So I'm going SEC on this one just because it's to rep my team, because I don't know who's going to win. I don't even have a remote idea what they're bringing, but it's a statement win for South Carolina if they can get it done.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go North Carolina on this one just because I think Drake May is a better quarterback than Spencer Rattler, and that's the only fact, or not, I ain't even going to say fact. That's the only comparison I got for these two teams, but yeah.
And I have no argument. It could go either way. Way.
And I believe the same. For sure. South Alabama versus Tulane. I think
Tulane.
Tulane.
Tulane, yeah. Tulane's a solid team.
That,
Tulane used to be an SEC at one point in time. They should have maybe stayed and swapped out a little brother over there in Nashville, Vandy. But it's okay. I like free win. Uh, Tulane takes it.
Tulane as well. Now I have Oregon State versus San Jose State. DJ it will be taking the reins over there in Oregon State from Clemson, former quarterback. I can't pronounce his name. That's his last name. That's why I didn't say it. Uga Ongabalay or something like that.
Ugala Angala way.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I got Oregon State winning this.
Yeah, I do too. But as we saw, San Jose State ain't a pushover.
No,
if you don't watch them, they'll hang with you. So, DJ Angleway, he's a solid quarterback coming to his junior year, and he can make something shake. But is he going to? I don't know. I do have him winning it, yes. But San Jose ain't a pushover, as we saw last week. They ain't a pushover. You come in and you doubt him. I mean, he's coming in from the ACC, right? I'm not mistaken. Because he was Clemson's old quarterback, right? Yeah. So it's a new system, a new team, a new conference. ACC, Pac-12, I say are comparable. A little bit. Pac-12 is more pass heavy. ACC, you got a lot of. It's very robust what they do. So maybe he comes in and has to get his feet wet and slips up this game, but I have Oregon State winning it.
Yes. Yeah. Next we have LSU, Florida State.
Ooh, you go first because I don't know. I think it's gonna be a good one. I think I got LSU, but I don't know. I want to hear what you say.
I think so if I had to bet on this game, I'll definitely take LSU in this game. As covering the spread, which is 2.5. So I mean, really, like we already kind of spoke on it. That's all I'm gonna say is I got LSU taking this game. I think it will be a good game.
The only thing I worry about this game is LSU will be without Emory, the main running back. John Emory will not be playing in this game, so that's what I'm a little worried about. I mean, you got Jayden Daniels, who's a huge playmaker, but a lot of the thing is having that running game, a two-headed monster right there. So that's what gives me a little bit of pause this game. Not being without your starting running back is a big hit. So if they can make something shake, then more power to them with it. But I got LSU winning it, but it'd be pretty close without having your starting running back there. They gotta change the game plan. But I think there'll be too much for Florida State, who is emerging to be probably the top dog in ACC. But it's another ACC SEC matchup, and if I had to choose a 50-50 game, I'm going with the SEC. So, LSU, South Carolina, Tennessee. Let's wrap it up this week and show who's top dog on the East Coast.
And last but not least, I got Clemson versus Duke.
Clemson takes it. Duke's a slip up game for them. Like you got to watch out for Duke, but I think Clemson, they're not getting Duke in the middle end of the season. They're getting them at the very beginning, so they should go ahead and get their win out of the way. They don't have to worry about any injuries coming in like that. So Clemson takes it.
I also have Clemson with K taking over the reins after DJ is gone.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to wrap up?
No, man. Like I said, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for this being our first podcast. I think we did a great job getting our points across. I felt like this is a great conversation and the flow. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for this season. But when I got to go out with a bang, right? We go out with the pride of the Southland on my end. Good Lord, knock it top. All right. But yeah.
I will say this, man. I kind of came into this podcast not really expecting anything, I honestly thought we was gonna struggle a little bit, which there was points that we did struggle, and but everything was natural and it was really easy. Soon as we hit record, it was on. So I'm excited for this to be our first podcast. I do believe it'll be many more to come. If you rock with us, rock with us. If you don't, that's all good. But at the end of the day, we ain't for everybody, and that's okay. But as long as we have fun doing this, I'm still gonna do whatever keeps me happy. At the end of the day, life's too short, and I just want to say thank everybody who supports us and will in the future. And yeah,
Hey, man, thank you. Like, again, we are Bros with Mics. You can get us at the socials at that also, Bros with Mics. We'll make sure to put that in there for you guys. Follow us, and you can get on the Twitter box. You can get on X, whatever they want to call it now. Even YouTube. Ask us the questions. You want to call and have a conversation with us, just call and have a conversation with us. And we'd love to hear your opinion. I mean, if you got something
yeah,
different than how we feel, we can go back and forth. We can do the debating. I enjoy healthy topics of conversation. So, again, Bros with Mics. You can find us on YouTube, which is where this one should be getting posted to, on Twitter. We'll start making some shorts for you and have those good conversations. So, again, thank you so much. If you do get a subscribe, like, comment, share, tell your friends about us, and hopefully we'll make some good content from here on out for you guys, man. And maybe, you never know, we might get some giveaways one day. Man, maybe we get some good stuff. I mean, you got the, hey, man, you know where the goat is out here. You got the goat back there. So, thank you again so much if you watched and you made it through the entire video. It's always a go Vols, and you got the hand. Hey, it's the go Vols at all times. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
yeah, for sure. We'll catch y'all next time, next week, and that will wrap it up.
Yeah. Peace out, y'all.
All righty.